And welcome to the 18th installment of the Jonesin on a Whim podcast. Our first all football, all NFL, all the time themed podcast. We might have some Sheik tweets right at the end, only because he's tweeting about the NFL. So we'd love to share. He's a sports fan. We saw it with the NHL. We saw it with the NBA.
That's right.
He's taking it to
pays attention.
The full trifecta. He's incorporating the NFL as well. The three of us are here in the North Estate Studios. And as always, we start with mistakes, correct them from the past week. Just two this week. And then we weren't sure. Marvin Lewis did in fact win Coach of the Year. We weren't sure the year, 2009. I think that was when. That was when they went 12-4 and won the division.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Because I thought that was 2000.
Because nobody saw that season coming.
But I don't think it was. I think it was 2000. Maybe he's won it twice. I don't know. But I thought that was 2000. I thought that was the year the year before the Saints won after Katrina, won 10 and won the division. So I don't know. I have to check into that too. Yeah. And then Lovie Smith, we were wondering if he had won. He had in 05.
Yikes.
That was when they. That's when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
against the Colts.
Donated the Super Bowl.
And we were wondering about contracts for Terrell Owens. Both Buffalo and Cincy were 1-year deals. That's what Art thought. I thought the Buffalo one was more than a year, and they released him. Both 1 years. Buffalo paid him $6.5 million. Cincy $2 million, but that was incentive based, I think.
Yeah, it was almost a blank slate, and we laughed at those incentives that he had, but I think he hit them both.
Yeah, no, that's his best year to date since he got old and crusty. Yeah. And 51-second segment, we're changing that up a bit. It's we're gonna go over injuries from the previous week. This is fantasy stuff and just overall stuff. I think the biggest one, especially from my interest, is Brent Grimes, the best cornerback Atlanta has, out for the year. Achilles.
Ouch.
Yeah. And they franchised him, so we'll see what they do with him going forward.
Good thing they can score.
Wow. now Samuel's got to be an every down player. Good luck with that. Yeah. Or even.
Speaking of old and crusty.
Right. Ty Warren for Denver tore his tricep, out indefinitely. I'm sure we'll get a more certain term of his absence tomorrow.
Former Patriot.
That's right. That's why.
And people don't come back quickly from torn triceps.
They don't. No, and Charles Grant from the Saints 1 year, out the year. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that just heals overnight.
You can't work out.
You can't. And it doesn't just, it's reattached.
Yeah, there's so many weightlifting exercises that demand you use the tricep.
Exactly.
It's just
all of them.
Yeah.
Especially, all arm related. Mm-hmm. And Vilma was PUP'd as expected today. I saw that coming. He's recovering from a knee injury. And we'll go through each team. The Cardinals, Skelton got knocked out. A low ankle sprain, not a high. So less time.
So that's the less severe version.
It's very, yes. So he'll miss less time than expected.
Did they even give a time for that?
Not yet. No. But I think just a week, maybe Cobb starts against the Patriots, your Patriots, on Sunday. Fred Jackson, a lot lesser a time frame than we thought. Okay. Thought maybe this season. This says 7 to 10. I think it was more 3 weeks. The last report.
His swelling is ridiculous. So basically, the MRI couldn't show anything because the swelling is so out of hand. They just know it's some sort of ligament damage, which obviously is scary.
Right. The latest I saw was 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know. With David Nelson, on the other hand, for them he's out for the year, and he suffered through injuries a year ago, I believe.
He was pretty useful last year.
Right, when he was healthy.
Yeah.
And then on to Carolina. Stewart was in fact inactive. He tweeted, but D'Angelo Williams didn't really do much in his absence. So
didn't really run forward.
No. So
quit drafting D'Angelo Williams.
And my MVP on defense for the Bears, Charles Tillman, he suffered a lower leg injury. Again, it's just Monday. We don't know where this is headed. We don't have any determinate absence figures, if you will. And then on to the Colts. Austin Collie was inactive. Another
Shocker.
Right. I mean, this concussions, he just has to call it a day.
Yeah.
But even more importantly, Winston Justice and Dwight Freeney, probably they're best players on each line, both left. Concussion for Winston, so likely a week at most. But I've heard nothing on Freeman other than it was an ankle injury. And I haven't heard anything since, so that's either great or really, really not good at all. And Rashad Jennings, obviously, that's why we looked at the MJD stat line, and really they gave him 20 carries. This is why Jennings left early in the game. And, he suffered a knee injury, and also nothing, I don't know. So it went the other way. So
you work hard to get that start, and then
they'll be running backless, I guess, in a couple of weeks once MJD suffers his holdout injury. And Daniel Thomas for the Dolphins, concussion. So that's why Reggie was running through the Texans for most of the day, but not resulting in anything positive.
More like the second half.
Right. And then
when they were already in where we're going later on after the game.
Right. He averaged over, I think, 5 yards a carry, but it's garbage time. Yeah. And then just a note for the Saints, Chris Ivory, Jabari Greer, and Vilma all inactive for the game. We cut Adrian Arrington as well.
Oh man, really?
It's about time. He can't stay healthy. But I assume after Morgan's performance on Sunday, we may give Arrington a call back. Revis suffered a mild concussion. It's mild, so probably will be active. Allegedly. I think against the Steelers on next Sunday.
Playing, so.
Right. Yeah. And Macklin suffered a hip pointer.
I don't believe that.
I had one of those. They have better training staff than I do, than I had in high school.
Yeah, sure.
I assume he'll be ready.
Hope, yeah.
Right, I assume he'll be ready. But he did. I drafted him for Corey. 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown.
Cha-ching.
So we'll take that. And a lot of inactives in San Francisco. LaMichael James didn't play. Brendan Jacobs didn't play. Ted Ginn didn't play. But obviously the 49ers succeeded. Gore looked great. And then Kendall Hunter and his relief looked just as effective. Mm-hmm. And in Seattle, Golden Tate was inactive. And I think Seneca, Doug Baldwin suffered an injury.
He got hurt. He fell on the ball trying to catch a ball.
Like an Andre Johnson type injury.
Yeah, Andre Johnson was like, man, I feel you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee, Jake Locker left, but he's not supposed to miss time. And Nate Washington, apparently, leg contusion, but that's just a shitty bruise. Yeah. And then Pierre Garçon, who you were going to highlight later, his numbers, that was one quarter. He was on pace for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Here it comes, Flip Anderson.
So, hashtag topics I don't want to talk about. And on, that's 51 seconds. It never will be anymore, but it felt like the best place to fit the injuries of the week for your fantasy folks, your fans of teams, and so forth. And on to entertainment news, big performances from the weekend. For now, I think we'll each highlight one each, and I guess you had yours that hashtag things I don't want to talk about.
Yes.
But,
RG3.
Yeah. And
I know he's an unknown quantity, but still, that was impressive.
And more impressive, the Shanahan's lack of pride, in a sense. But that's a good thing in this sense, because that was the Baylor offense yesterday. Yeah. They said, you know what? Scrap everything we've done in the past. We sold the farm for this guy. Mm-hmm. Let's cater our offense to him.
How about we use
and that's what they did.
He's actually good at.
Right. And wow, I didn't think they were capable of that, to be honest. And
when people get pulled in rooms and get told that they're about to get canned and take your son with you, then probably that's enough to inspire.
I applaud that. And on the other end of that spectrum, my big performance
is that $7 million Shanahan.
Right. Well, on the other end, right. Give him reason to fire him.
Giving up the keys.
Right. And on the other side of the ball for them, my big performance is Jim Haslett. He returned to the Dome. Mm-hmm. He was our head coach. He kind of more put us on the map, and we had some off time. And Haslett came in, sustained it, went through that Katrina season, which nobody could succeed in. And he had a game plan that held our offense to 5 drives of 3 and outs. And we'll get to the trivia question later, but that's a big number for us. Only 5 drives of 55 yards or more. Drew through 2 fourth-quarter interceptions. More importantly, 42% completion percentage.
That's what struck me.
The second
pick was a desperation heave at the at the buzzer.
Right.
So 80% of those become picks. But,
Right. And he obviously broke the record last year.
Yeah.
72% completion percentage.
Yeah.
So, and 32 yards rushing for us. We were 6th in the league running the football last year. People forget that.
Of course, you were behind
because it's awesome.
But that's fine. And we it was only on 10 carries, but that's still 3.2 yards a carry. So that's still keeping us at a low average.
10 carries.
Yeah. I mean, Sproles didn't have a carry.
Oh, wow.
And they forced a huge fumble, Colston at the 5. He's going in for a touchdown, and that's it. That's the turning point. If we score there, they had several plays where they put their helmet on the ball. They caused some fumbles. Other than the Colston play, it pains me, but it's my performance of the week.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. ESPN got me. I was listening to some other podcasts. I was cheating on our podcast and listening to others because,
you gotta listen to the lesser competition.
Yeah, as a part of my research, just to make sure, see how
people don't go out of the box.
Yeah, just to listen to Skip Bayless and I can laugh. And I mean, I did all of this.
You lost this. Let's move on. If you just dropped Skip Bayless
because it's funny. It's like this guy's really on the air. As long as he's on the air, we have a chance.
Well, then I guess you're going with the Jets if it's Skip Bayless. The lack of use of Tebow, who started, by the way, but not a quarterback.
And I think that was funny. Look,
second tight end.
Look, we picked the Bills. 2 out of 3 of us picked the Bills to go to the playoffs. So either we're wrong as hell.
But I picked the Jets to win 9 games, and no one else did.
Yeah, I know I did.
I like the Jets more than most, and I picked them to win this game yesterday. Yeah. Not by 20 and the score 48.
And 20 wasn't even the right number.
No, I
mean, it was more like
garbage.
It was really 40.
Right.
Like they killed the Bills.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna crown them yet though.
I'm not ready to
Mario Williams 1 tackle.
Yeah,
Crickets.
1 tackle.
Crickets.
Way more money than that one.
Yeah, 48 million guaranteed. Good luck with that.
If we talk about people getting pissed off and getting in a room and saying nobody believes in us, or we can say what we want about the Jets, and yeah, I'm not high on them still. But look, they were in a position where people were ready for them to show up and get their ass kicked on national TV, and it was going to be awesome. And Tebow was going to still be horrible, and Sanchez was going to be throwing pick sixes. And
that was in New York. Both.
Yeah.
Either way.
But the Bills were ready to show up and let everybody know that they're on their way, and they got all this talent, and look at this, look at that. Well, look, Fred is my guy. Y'all know how much I talk about Fred. But look, even before Fred was gone, they were getting killed. Fitzpatrick looked like I shouldn't be starting in the NFL. He was Jake Delhomme was watching that on the background while he was grilling some steaks or something. And he was like, "Man, my Lord, that was a bad pass. Oh God, that was late. Oh geez, you can't throw an out route that late. Oh man,
And this is Fitzpatrick. I mean, what the hell?
This is a smart guy.
This is Ivy League, and
but
talented quarterback. He's had some good numbers in the past.
And he's surrounded by some fairly
the money was on the table.
Above average skill level players.
Yeah, the money was on the table. The Jets took the money. I can't be mad at them for that. I got it. They had so much attention on them going into the week. That was a pretty serious win. 48 points. It could have been worse. They wouldn't have called the dogs off. I'll give it to them. We'll see next week. But
right. No, that's it. And
shocked me.
We'd like to highlight players that we're big fans of. Gore with 16, 112 and a touch. Wayne, who I said would lead the NFL in receptions. Good start, 9 for 135.
Or in receiving?
Receptions.
Oh.
Not receiving yards, receptions. Oh. He got 9 for 135.
9 is good.
And Marshall's right there with him, who we all think would be right there with them. 9 for 119 and a touch. Mm-hmm. And then Griffin, who was your big performance of the week, 19 to 26 for 320 and 2 touchdowns against a putrid New Orleans defense. 10 carries for 42 yards. Putrid.
It was not good either.
And we move on, thank God, to week 2, but not yet. Our top 11 this week. This is what we'll do every week. It'll be our power rankings, and we'll kind of go through. I think we'll agree in a lot in some, but there were 14 winners this week so far. I have 2 teams in my top 11 that didn't win, and 1 that hadn't played yet. The Vikings obviously don't belong here. They won, but I don't think they're here yet. No. Arizona, not yet. Tampa, not yet. Philly has some work to do for me, and so does Pittsburgh. That said...
Pittsburgh lost.
I know, but still, they have work to do.
You were talking about winning.
Winners, right.
Didn't make the top.
But I think in a lot of people's initial top 10 or whatever, they probably would have been in there.
Oh.
Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't have been in ours, but.
No.
But that said, on to our top 11 for week 1. We all agree
we're in
at 1.
We're in it. Yeah, we're in.
Yeah, I don't suspect I'll have them here for long, but a win in Lambeau it's always impressive.
That'll earn you number 1.
Yes, and we 2 of us have the Patriots at number 2. My reasoning, that being you and I, and you sticking with the Ravens because that's your Super Bowl pick, I assume, and
that's everybody's Super Bowl.
And you suspect, like you said,
I thought
right? You suspect they'll handle on offense and be normal on defense, and so far that's kind of been.
Oh, we hadn't seen the Ravens play
case.
yet, so I didn't know where to put them, but I figured they're in the top 3 of the league. So.
Right, and you and I have them. You and I have them at 3rd, which makes sense. And for the Patriots, why I have them 2nd is they did it with defense and the running game, and those are 2 things I thought they'd struggle with this season.
Chris Johnson, 11 carries,
right, 4 yards. And some people could say, well, that was against Tennessee, but that's a team I had winning that division, so that flags it for me. That's a big deal to me. And the Ravens, as you might allude to, I suspect they'll win tonight, and I have them as we all do, representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. We have the combination is not the same, but those first 3, we have the same 3.
Yeah.
And 1 we have consensus. And at 4, Art and I have the Texans. The defense was as expected, and Andre found the end zone, and
he made a couple.
And a funny quote from there's your flag. Dan Fouts. Andre Johnson, all he does is score touchdowns.
Really?
Totally false. But he found the end zone today.
Yesterday. That should have been a come on, man.
And you have him 5th.
Yeah.
So you were at the game, I assume.
No, I was impressed once they got going. Yeah, it was like a quarter and a half of suck, and then they said, "Oh wait, we're much better than Miami," so they started playing like it.
Right. Okay.
But the gap between 4 and 5 is not large.
Right. It's murky for my. I have Dallas at 5th, and you respectively Art and Stefan 9 and 10. Mm-hmm. I have to put them this high. It was an impressive win in week 1, and I'm basing it on week 1. Not on what I project them to do.
Oh no,
it
was just a snap judgment from week 1.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was impressive.
I didn't put Dallas as high because I thought the Giants missed some opportunities and should have been leading that game at the half. Sorry, Kevin, but I wasn't as impressed. I mean, I was very impressed by Romo.
And DeMarco Murray running hard.
Yards,
he ran hard.
Yeah.
And he does that. That's why he'll be hurt.
Great individual play from the skill guys, but just giving them top 10.
And Green Bay, I have 6th. You have them 7th.
Yep.
I can't drop them any further. I mean, I can't.
I dropped them because if we're talking, last year 15-1. That's one of those things where you do end up Raymond Rice. You gotta, I add Silver to his name. When I feel a deep amount of respect, I add Silver to his first name. But this not being able to run the ball thing is not cute, guys.
No.
You're at home. You need to be able to sustain some drives, get some stuff going. And yes, this is against San Francisco. That defense is not playing.
Right, and they had an off season to prepare for Green Bay. An off season, not a week.
Yeah.
An off season.
Yeah.
They knew who they. Since April. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Green Bay knew too. They didn't shock Green Bay.
Well, Mike McCarthy's a dumpster fire. People don't talk about that enough, and we will later on. But
I think we can at some point. Raymond Rice, good grief. But I have a big problem with them showing up, and I understand. Okay, it's 1 week. It's a hell of a situation. San Francisco had a lot to prove because they felt their heartburn is a whole lot worse considering the way they lost. When they lost.
Well, at least the team they lost to, well, both, I guess, won the Super Bowl. But.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you lose a game where you feel like you gave away a game you should have won, they're coming back this year like, hey, we retooled, we got things together, we installed these 3 receivers.
That said, Alex Smith still sucks.
Yeah.
He kept throwing out routes to the first...
Yeah.
I mean, people applauding him. No, he did not. He did not outplay Aaron Rodgers.
He did.
He threw it into the stands 4 times on out routes.
And he wasn't
over Randy Moss's head. Like, come on.
He wasn't even on purpose with that. It was just like, ooh, wow. But
if Gordon hunted him, bail him out.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And in this defense,
it's pitiful.
The defense is pitiful. Now, look, Frank. I was talking kind of bad about Frank in that first half.
That's a shame.
But then I started looking at what the plan was. And it looks very clearly like they've installed all these other pieces to say, hey guys, we're going to wait and we're going to hold on to Frank till the end of the game. And then when it's close and we need a drive, we're going to say, Frank, go ahead.
Get us there.
Everybody else is tired. You should be ready to go. This is your 8th carry. It's the 4th quarter. Let's go.
8
Frank.
more. Best was just moonwalking and the guy hit him late. He's like, oh. I loved it. But it was still awesome.
Well, it was
he
spun around. Right.
And then he got up like,
I scored.
What happened? Oh,
right.
Okay. Yeah, so in that 4th quarter, he came on, and if they do that, I don't know how that's not going to work.
That's why we have him 1. That's why we have him 1, but the schedule gets harder. So, Green Bay, I have him 6th. You have Stefan, you have him 7th.
Yeah, one comment about the lack of rushing. I mean, I'm not hanging him as much for that because
Cedric Benson's a running back.
San Francisco kick-ass defense. Yes, Cedric Benson. Now
they were number 1 in rushing by like 40 yards last year. You're right.
And you don't have to run the ball.
And they were down 24-7 in the 3rd quarter.
The Giants had the worst rushing offense in the league last year and won the Super Bowl. Now, I don't think they had that great of a team during the season, but
we all agree there. And that's fair.
And then the other thing that I'll say about Green Bay, if I'm gonna hate on them and defend them as 10. Man,
you can't drop them too far.
That passing attack wasn't amazing either. Like until later on.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was 24-7 well into the 3rd.
It was bogged down.
And what sparked them was that kick return, whatever, 17 blocks in the back. But and on the number 7, I have the Bears. And y'all both have them higher than I do. Yeah. And that's fine because I have Dallas and Green Bay a little higher. Yeah. And for me, they did what they were supposed to do at home against a rookie quarterback. You have them, Stefan. You have them 4th. Art has them 5th. They have a huge opportunity this week to send Green Bay to 0-2, and it's 3 nights from now. It's Thursday night. They have to go to Lambeau, and Green Bay's not likely to lose 2 in a row at home. But that's huge for them if they can get there and send them to 0-2 and be 2-0 on the flip.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's a big story there, and possibly the story of the week for the nation, I guess, NFL wise. I have this team 8th, as does Stefan. Art has them a little higher at 6th. Maybe he respects Pittsburgh more than we do. I don't know. But the Denver Broncos. Manning's back. But the moment for me was he was on the right side of that Tracy Porter pick 6 last night. He lost a Super Bowl to that. Yeah. It was on the other end for him last night. So I have them 8th, and we'll see. They're at Atlanta. I think at home. I mean, on the road against Atlanta on a Monday night will give me a better gauge for where they actually are. Yeah. And I'd love to move them up, assuming they'll win, because Atlanta losing is awesome for me. Speaking of Atlanta.
Speaking of things that didn't happen yesterday.
Right. And speaking of Atlanta and a team y'all both have higher than I do, I had the Falcons at 9. Stefan has them at 6. Art at 8.
I struggled.
And that was impressive. Impressive win in a hostile environment. Arrowhead doesn't get more hostile than maybe the Superdome as far as stadiums in the NFL. But we don't know how good Kansas City really is.
No idea. Kansas City's defense was not there.
I did not see that game. So
that said, y'all had them higher than I did. Yeah. You have them 6th, and Art, you have them 8th. Yeah. And I don't want to get into the super awesome offense too much.
Ooh, it was so awesome.
Julio Jones.
2 touchdowns and 100 yards.
He got that like the first 10 minutes.
Right. Eric Berry must have been dead.
Kansas City, half of their defense didn't play. I would just say.
Okay, well, I hope that's the case. Because I obviously didn't see a minute. But Stefan and I are leaning on you a little bit for the noon games. Because you were at the games.
So I wouldn't. I'm just saying, look, I got the crow in the microwave. And I'll be ready to eat it like 3 or 4 weeks from now, based on
microwave. At least barbecue it.
No,
it comes out of a can.
Okay,
it's coming out of a can.
It's already cooked.
It's because people were jumping the gun, so that's why I got to put it in the microwave. It's like everybody's talking about how awesome they were, and I've fallen for this before. I'm not doing it again with Atlanta. But look, they got Denver Monday night, they're at San Diego, then they got Carolina. So they could be 4-0, and we'd have to be listening to how amazing and awesome they are. But then they go to Washington. So maybe that's the first time where I get a chance.
And that's in the 5-game window that Washington is actually good. So they started 4-1 a year ago. Yeah. So that's good. That's good. All right, good, perfect.
Going 2-9 the rest of the way.
Speaking of And I had them lower than both of you. My Saints, you can't lose that game at home. That defense is putrid. Stefan had him at 9. Art had him at 7. I suspect the return of Greer will help, which should be soon. If only because Patrick Robinson goes to the bench. I mean, getting burned on 2 plays and then the 12th man on the field penalty was absolutely unforgivable. That cost us the game. Not to mention the 2 touchdowns I previously mentioned that he gave up. Yeah. His hand-eye is beyond cornerback decent. And he dropped a pick that would have put us within. We were within 8. He dropped a pick, fairly catchable. It would have been a good catch for a corner, but he needs to make that after being the GOAT on 2 prior plays. So I have him 10th, like I said. I hope they move up. Going to Carolina this week. We'll talk about our picks later. But Stefan has him 9th. Art has him 7th. And then our 11th, we all have different teams. And I'll do mine first. I have to put the Redskins 11th. They came in New Orleans and beat us. Yeah. Opening day with the rookie quarterback. It was impressive week 1. One of the not only the most hostile environments in sports in the NFL, but in sports. So they're there. The Jets are on the cusp. Another performance like that, especially against the Steelers, and I'll have them in this ranking. But my 11 is Washington. Yeah, yours is assuming the outcome.
Yeah. According to
well, you gave Coach of the Year. You've got him in the playoffs.
That's right.
So, it's a super awesome coaching job that he's already displayed in his first half.
They're playing right now, and they don't look awful.
They're competing on the road.
They're hanging in there
against the team we think's 1 or 2 best in the AFC.
Yeah.
And then Art, you have.
I put Detroit. I was very appalled.
That's another team that's right there.
Right on the cusp. I put them there because they managed to win that game, and
after 3 interceptions and a pitiful performance by
Stafford. Yeah, I mean, he was doing also. Jake Delhomme is thinking, man, maybe I need to do a couple crunches because if these dudes are starting and touted making these throws, my goodness, maybe I can still play. Because these were some irresponsible, late, bad, underneath throws.
I need to watch that. This is the first week I'll actually do NFL Rewind when I need to see these games.
Yeah, you need to see them because the stats don't tell you how bad some of these quarterback games were. That was 4 or 5.
Well, the 4 interception games kind of tell me.
I hope we didn't stat line
or Vicks.
But no, Ron Mexico's was worse than you want to believe.
How do you overthrow McCoy by 7 yards? It had to be like a 3-yard pass, right?
Yeah, the highlights don't tell you because look, the highlights left out in that Vic game. He threw a pick with the game on the line, and then the play after that they scored. But he threw like a in the hands. If that's anybody other than Cleveland, the guy catches it and the game is over. Interception. And of course, the Cleveland guy drops it. And the next play, magical, weird touchdown underneath, sidearm throw.
Right, but you have Detroit makes sense.
I put Detroit
because we both have them in the NFC Championship somehow.
They got that game.
Somebody, one of us has to have them.
Because Stafford put a drive together at the end when it counted.
It's only week 1.
Right, it is, and like I said, we lost last year. It was to Green Bay, so that's on the road, which is more forgivable.
Yes,
but and then now the Whim hits will be our weekly picks, which Stefan's doing a little better than me against the spread this week. Art wasn't able to get his in. He wanted to get a feel for the game before he put his picks in print, I think.
Because I would have been highly wrong.
Right. No, I know. And including the Dallas game, I'm still only 5-9. Stefan's right above 500 at 7-6.
So.
I think we all have the same in these two games.
So my coin's working for me.
Right. And
yeah, I need to flip a coin for the late game tonight. I have no idea who's winning that game.
So we'll go through our picks for this week.
Oh, already?
Yeah, this is the Whim hits.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'll determine I'll document what we pick. It's the games that are played tonight don't have lines, but I'm pretty good at determining the lines, so we'll go on that.
Okay.
And it starts off Thursday night. I mentioned it before.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago goes to Green Bay, and as a 5.5-point dog.
You think that line's gonna stick with basis? I mean, is that the actual line, or
came today? Yeah. No. The only ones that I guessed were the ones the 4 teams involved tonight. So the rest are the first 12 or so we go through will be real.
Okay.
It's Vegas as of today. 5.5. Green Bay is favored over Chicago at home.
Didn't we already pick tonight's games though?
We did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying their games this week, no line.
Okay.
The games that Baltimore, Cincinnati, Oakland, and San Diego play next Sunday, there's no line yet. Because injuries occur, and so they don't give you a line until tomorrow.
I understand.
So I guessed the line.
Okay.
And
understand.
Usually,
finally, I'm on board.
Right. The smartest guy in the room. He's all of a sudden the dumbest.
All
right.
Bring me along slowly here.
Hey, I'm still in both races.
All right, so Green Bay, Chicago or Green Bay, plus 5.5 for Chicago. Who you got?
I got Green Bay bouncing back.
Green Bay bouncing back, but by
and covering.
And covering. Yeah.
I don't trust that. I think they'll play a lot better, but I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid till Chicago screws them.
No, I agree. That's because one, it's a rivalry game. Two, if Alex Smith can do what he did, and that offense can do what they did,
Brandon Marshall against that D.
Why can't Matt Forte, Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall?
That's why they play the game.
Exactly. And the second one, the Giants coming off a home loss to open the season, 9-point favorites over a 1-0 Tampa team.
What?
Yeah, just 9.
9
or 9.
That's kind of disrespectful.
That's a little disrespectful, and I'm going with Tampa.
That's a shame.
Because I love those bays.
I'm currently going to take Tampa because the Giants, this could be their take a shit month. And they never announce it when they're doing it.
This is what it'll be, but Tampa won.
A newsletter would help, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Hey, we're going to suck this month.
Right. Right. Especially for people who bet in Vegas. But Tampa won, but didn't show me anything in doing so.
They were up 13.
Because I don't believe in Carolina, so I don't. Yeah. I learned nothing yesterday.
Look,
those are two teams I feel that are in the basement of that division together.
Did you get to see it?
I saw it. Saw enough.
Okay, because it was a case where Tampa was up 13-0, and they had an opportunity to throw knockout blows, and they never did, which is kind of scary.
And they couldn't run the ball as well as I thought they'd be able to possibly. And Mike Williams is better than Vincent Jackson. I said that going into the year, and I still believe that.
Which is great, though, as long as people don't figure that out.
Right.
I think that's good for Tampa.
Yeah.
And look, I watched the Giants secondary. They're not healthy, man. And Vincent Jackson is a heavyweight champion of 57-yard catches.
Corey Ruffs would be on him, though. Corey Ruffs is the shit. That's why Des Bryant didn't have a great stat line.
But what are we talking about? The other guys. We just said Mike Williams.
No, I'm telling you, Mike Williams is going to eat their ass.
That's right.
But Josh Freeman's still throwing it, and he still sucks. He's the Josh Freeman I thought, not the Josh Freeman Bill Simmons thought.
He was.
I think he's somewhere in between.
It's horrible. It's mechanics.
It might be
he's
close.
Smart. He's strong. He's big. No mechanics. Get this guy a quarterback coach. John Gruden, go back to Tampa and teach this guy, and he's drooling to do it. He's just not going back.
I'm gonna roll with Tampa until.
So y'all two have Tampa. I have the Giants.
Because of that line.
And this is an interesting one. Arizona goes to New England as a 14-point dog.
14.
And that's always big for me. Even on the road, I think Arizona's defense is really good.
That secondary is
and it's incredibly good. And Patrick Peterson just smothered people yesterday.
Yeah.
And I've got Arizona. I'm not going to bet it, but 14 in any NFL game.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That is a lot.
But Cobb over Skelton. So he looks like a relief pitcher, not a starter. So I don't know how he'll do when he starts. But it's too big a line for me.
I got Zona too. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win, and I really hope they don't. But
let's make it 3.
I don't think they'll win. I'm not betting the money line.
And New England has no reason to go in on Zona. So they could just play the boring, let's make sure we get out of here with a win type style.
31-21.
And as long as Cobb doesn't just throw them 20 points or something, which he's not above. But usually what he does is he throws completely uncatchable passes. Nobody can catch him.
Yeah,
so they're just on the sideline oh, man, get away from me with that.
So they just punt. And,
Yes.
Right. So yeah, the zone of sweep there.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's at Indy, favored by a point.
I like Indy.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, really, Blaine Gabbert could do what he did, so Andrew Luck and Reggie Wayne can't? Come on, they'll have their way with them.
I'm guessing they will.
And it's not like Freeney dictates their run defense. So Peterson, which we didn't mention in big performances, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. that's a medical marvel, but
and like I said,
for another day.
And like I said, even in the mail earlier today, he was missing the violent, crazy cuts, but he wasn't missing much.
Right, and it's just that he's playing is
it's
retarded.
that he's playing.
Yeah.
So we both have Stefan and I have Indy.
I hate to do it because you know my love for Percy Harvin, but Percy Harvin can't do everything, man. He
kind of can, and he has.
But he's not gonna be playing. He's not gonna be playing defense.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
No, you're kind of right. He can and has.
They
in college and in the pros.
Yeah, they just need to play defense, and they haven't been working on that.
They could run the Percy Cat offense. Yeah.
They do.
Well, Gabbard looked like a 4-year vet. That Gabbard.
Gabbard made a couple man throws.
He had an efficient rating against anyone, and that scares me. I think Andrew can do that, especially with the two tight ends and Reggie Wayne. And they ran the ball a little bit against the Bears defense, and you don't run the ball.
And they're going to be playing on a real field indoors, so they won't have to deal with the soldiers.
They're home, at home, too. This is the home opener for Andrew Luck. You don't think that place is going to be bumping, rocking?
Because, you're talking franchise. So, triple.
Yeah. And then the Saints try to not go to 0-2, as does Carolina. They travel to Carolina. That's 2.5-point favorites, and I just have to take them because.
How could you
I have to because I have to.
How could you not believe that's going to go?
And then this was a funny thing. Speaking of if the possibility of them going 0-2, I brought this up during the game. It's like, can you imagine a reality show of Sean Payton just watching the Saints game, pounding beers, throwing hats, yelling? Wouldn't that something you'd watch? I would rather that over the Red Zone channel, Sean Payton channel, watching the Saints game. So,
really, Drew?
He drank like 12 beers on the flight back from the Super Bowl. Like, this guy pounds them like we do.
Nice.
I would love to. And he's like bold now. He's like doing the CrossFit. He's like huge.
Oh, like the P90X
yeah.
or something like that.
So, I want Sean Payton or channel. But
that would be awesome.
They've got to win. If they don't, I might just cry. So.
I got New Orleans.
I was able to go through one loss like that because fine, it's week 1, but fix the shit.
Yeah,
and it's not like Carolina will world beat us in their opener.
I'm kind of curious what the weather is going to be like in Carolina that day. You know, that if it's like really sloppy.
It's fine. I think
like
it still is
Carolina Tampa Bay.
I think it's still in that for us because look how they couldn't run the ball.
No, they couldn't. But New Orleans is better in the dry.
No, certainly. But when we're forced to run, we do it, and that means you activate Ivory this time, which was a surprising inactive.
Well, they need
to give those guys some carries.
Well, they need to be doing.
But we were down early, like y'all said.
Yeah. But you don't abandon the running game when you fall behind.
Maybe they can get over the cuteness and they show up and somebody needs to do some cussing right now though, because like I said, I'm not ready to panic yet, but somebody needs to do like some stern cussing and say we need to quit fucking around. We need to win these games.
Mm-hmm. It's just one game.
Yeah, but being mad isn't gonna win us games. Saying us against the world, y'all ain't gonna win us games. I don't know what it's gonna take, but they need to win this game, and they need to win it convincingly. They're a better team in this.
Well, no,
I would take by a field goal.
Right, and I'll take it. I just want to win, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you give me the 2.5, I'll take the 3. And then this is a game of who the hell knows, either team. But Kansas City goes to Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 3 in this one.
Right. Well, I don't know what this injury report situation is.
Yeah.
Right. If Kansas City gives up 40 at home, even if it is to Atlanta, I'm taking Buffalo just because they're at home, and it's a mixed bag in Kansas City. If you give up 40 at home, why wouldn't you give up 40 on the road?
I don't know how you get scored on that much by the Jets, though. I just don't know. I mean, the Chiefs,
Mario Williams, 1 tackle, 0 sacks,
Chiefs,
zero effectiveness.
The Chiefs have talent in a lot of places where the Jets don't. And that's kind of scary. If your defense isn't going to be good, your best offensive player is somewhere with a torn something CL, and Stevie Johnson has a bad groin.
Well, Peyton Hillis looks more like Cleveland's second year, Peyton Hillis, than he did first. So
that's why I drafted him.
Against Atlanta, who doesn't stop the run ever.
Yeah.
They lost their best run stopper, Curtis Lofton.
I need the Bills to be pissed off or something, so I'm going to pick against them. I don't trust.
So am I.
They really disappointed.
2 KCs.
Yep. They really
I've got the Bills.
Fitzpatrick looked horrible, man. I promise you. You need to see this. It was bad.
No, I believe it based on the stat line, but the Jets defense does that to people. I mean, That secondary is so good, and I'm not gonna hang him for struggling against that defense, especially when you give Rex Ryan in that defense, like I said, since April to prepare.
Yeah.
That's the week one. Your teams with better defenses tend to carry on 1-0.
And I think the defenses are going to be better overall this year. But
right.
that's still bad for a team like Buffalo that doesn't have a slew of talent. And it's all
But they don't have leadership either. Their coach is Chan Gailey. We're going to Jacksonville, where Houston is
I hope not.
a 9-point. No, never.
Oh, I see. People.
Just to
We're
play
talking
golf.
about
Just to play
yeah.
golf.
Yeah, I don't.
And Houston's a 9-point favorite against the Jags, who were fairly respectable against a fairly
That's the
team.
Jaguars, huh?
And it looks like MJD will be all day, all the time now. -9. And I'll start to contemplating.
Yeah.
I'll go with Jacksonville. Houston's never gone there and beat them by more than ever. I don't think they've beaten them. I don't know. But
I think
the Hail Mary they lost. They won last year, and it was a quarterback situation where they struggled, but they still didn't. It wasn't convincing. And 9's a bit. I wouldn't be shocked if the Texans cover this, but there's a sense of rivalry there, and I'll go with that. And the 12,000 fans that are there will enjoy a close game.
It might be 11 because
Right.
they lost that game after
Right.
Blaine Gabbert made a grown man throw to put them up, and they managed to lose that game off a 55-yard
The
field
most
goal.
respectable overtime game, though, the field goal, and then they got their shot and 0 for 4. Just Blaine's throwing downfield, being Blaine. So
Yeah, I'm thinking slowly on this one because I think Houston's more than a 9-point victory.
they're better than 9 points in this
Yeah.
team. There's no doubt.
But Jacksonville has a pretty decent defense
We do.
and could keep this one close. I'll go Jacksonville.
All right.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
All right. And again, I could go either way here. 9's a lot, but 9's something the Texans could handle. And
Get
then
up, lay on
Yep.
it, they could do that.
No,
Right.
They got the players for it.
they do. And Dallas goes to Seattle. 3-point favorites. And Seattle's good at home. They are.
Yeah.
And Dallas,
So I'll take Dallas.
right. So is that what you're going
I
with?
agree. Seattle's good at home. I'll take Dallas.
If
Okay.
this is the bad Giants month, maybe this is the good Cowboys month. Everybody's still healthy. So I'm going to go. If that secondary was as good as they looked against Dallas, then I think my boy Russell is going to struggle again. Shocking things are happening on my TV now, like Ed Reed getting pick sixes. But what else?
Defensive player of the what?
Citrus.
The year.
Decade.
I'm taking Dallas.
That's a good start for our pick. Right there. All right, I'm going with Seattle. I think that Seattle's defense is pretty good. I understand that Arizona got points, not many yesterday, enough to win. But Russell Wilson will study the tape, study his mistakes, and he'll be better suited against this defense that will blitz him and get him out of the pocket. I think he'll run more, and Tate will be back. Baldwin will be healthy for the whole game, and they're just so much better at home. That game yesterday, they beat Arizona at home. So, and that brings us to Washington at St. Louis. Washington going in there with 3 points. They're favored by 3. Not with 3, giving 3. The Redskins. Redskins are -3 at St. Louis. At St. Louis. So the first 2 games on the road, both in domes.
Maybe that St. Louis defense is already installed, but big plays are big plays. And if you can run the ball, I gotta believe you're able to beat the Rams. That's the thing that Detroit was missing, which is why they could never really do much with it. I believe the Redskins, they'll just pick somebody and they'll be able to run the ball. RG3 will do a couple things. And then, yeah.
Did they run it much yesterday?
Who's that?
The Redskins?
Oh, yeah. They had a rusher. That one running back at 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Morris, yeah.
They beat us on the road. They better beat St. Louis on the road. Goddamn right I have the Redskins.
Yeah.
And a field goal.
Yeah, that should be it.
I'm guarding against the letdown game here, but
If he's not hurt. If he's not hurt now.
Yeah. I'll go with St. Louis.
There you go.
I think we got let down.
Sam Bradford still looks shitty, by the way.
Yeah, he needs. that's Redskins.
Okay, all right.
They're gonna run the ball. RG3 will make a couple.
And they did start 4-1 last year. Why wouldn't they start 4-1 this year?
Well, maybe this will be their one.
Yeah, well, they have a couple better
or
teams.
they win by a point.
They have a much better, right. They win by 2. Yeah. Then the Jets, surprising 48-point scoring team in week 1. They go to Pittsburgh, 6-point dogs at Pittsburgh, 6-point dogs.
Man,
the Steelers can't run.
I was hoping that would be closer.
Yeah, the Steelers can't run. And they're going to be trying to throw, but they're going to be trying to throw on the Jets.
Jets secondary.
Oops.
Yeah, the 6 is too big for me.
The Jets don't have a lot of talent on offense, though. That's kind of scary.
But that's fine.
Sean Green needed them to be up by 40 to get 90 yards rushing. I mean,
it was a decent carry.
No, 3 yards.
Well, shit.
He sucks.
So it's 26 carries, I think, something.
Yeah, he sucks. He blows.
Well, he got a touchdown. I'll take it.
Accidentally. He didn't believe it either. The 6, I don't know, man. I'll go ahead and stay on the Kool-Aid to the Jets screw me and say that they're going to lose that game, but it's going to be closer than that.
Yeah, I could totally see him losing by 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels to me, too. So I'll go Jets.
It's a Jets sweep. And we go to San Francisco. And the repeat, it wasn't a handshake game, but it was like it kind of was.
The harsh handshake game.
But
how dare you?
Detroit 6.5-point dogs? Seems like a lot to me. At San Fran, though. But Detroit doesn't seem like a team that outdoors really scare them. I don't know.
They kind of stunk it up, man. Stafford, I mean, maybe that'll scare them because they deserve to lose that game. That defense didn't look good either.
Well, we knew it would. It doesn't, but that offense, San Francisco's offense doesn't look that great either. It's Green Bay's defense, so it's the same deal round 2, but San Francisco at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with San Francisco on this till they prove me wrong.
I got San Fran as well.
Yeah, I got Detroit losing but covering, and this sets up that first round playoff game that I predicted in our last podcast. And then finally Monday night, Peyton keeps the tour going.
Are they only going to play in primetime this year?
Right.
Probably so.
He heads to Atlanta as a 3-point dog. Fuck Atlanta, I got Denver. They're great at home, but I
got Atlanta.
Grimes is out. That's huge.
Yeah, they'll miss him.
So Peyton got that memo that Grimes is out.
Sure. Yeah.
So Decker's gonna just nickel and dime him all the way down the field, and that's.
The Broncos need like a couple of stops against Fool's Gold and they're winning this game.
The defense is.
I think their defense is good enough to get a couple stops.
Yeah.
They just need a couple. The thing is, they need a couple stops early. And if the Falcons are serious about this, we don't. Like, I was joking with a guy yesterday. I was saying Michael Turner got a call and he had to leave or something. Like, I don't even think he was still there, and it was the middle of the third quarter. Like, I didn't see him.
No.
Like, I didn't see him. I don't.
They're using the jacuzzi. I'm assuming a lot. They should. For their offense, he's the better fit.
Yeah, but golly, man, and those Turner runs were the type of runs you give a guy when you don't even want him to succeed. Like, let's run him up the middle and know.
Well, second and 10.
Yeah, if he doesn't break 9 tackles, he's getting 2 yards off of this.
Right, they're phasing him out.
They were phasing him out.
He hit 30. So.
I'm going Denver, man. Old man looked good last night.
He did, and I'd root for him. And as long as he's in the AFC, I'm fine with that.
And you're playing Atlanta.
And they're playing the Falcons. Now these next 4.
That's shocking.
These next 4 include teams that are playing tonight. So I fabricated the line, but I think I'm usually fairly close. It's so early that it's easier to predict this stuff.
Right.
Baltimore goes to Philly. I think Baltimore will be a slight favorite in that game. 1 or 2 points based on what especially more based on what they're doing now. 1 or 2 points favorite at Philly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
They're basically saying the Ravens are gonna win. I'm good with that.
Right. And if Philly couldn't move the ball against the Browns defense, which is underrated, but the Baltimore defense is better. And Philly is at home. I've got Baltimore here.
So do I.
Yeah, I got Baltimore. Baltimore has to give up 4 or 5 big plays to lose that game, and I think they may give up 2 or 3, and that'll be enough for them to hold it down. And look, if this offense is what we're making it out to be, our true super awesome offense with a couple deep plays with Raymond Rice, sustaining drives, keeping things together,
which is what we've seen tonight. They first play from scrimmage bombed the Torrey Smith completion. Yep. They needed to fix that. They only got 3 from that, but. Going forward, they learn. They'll give it to Ray Rice when you get in the red zone, and he scored on the second drive.
Duh. Jeez, I got to play with this and get them all.
And you might want to change your number 11 pick, but Baltimore's that good, so maybe you don't.
Yeah, maybe not.
And Oakland, we got clean sweep. Oakland at Miami. Miami's a bad home team.
Say a big no.
But I'll still say 4 or 5 here because it's cross country.
Yeah.
Oakland -4. And we all, I think, will. Even regardless of what happens tonight. Miami's bad. I mentioned that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Once or twice.
They're horrendously bad.
Yeah.
They're about to get somebody fired.
Not to take anything away from the Texans, they did what they were supposed to do.
They took a while, but then once they realized that they got it on. And I think the Raiders have big play potential a little bit more than what the Texans have. And their goal will be to try to get up big and take it to the house. And I think they'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
So another sweep.
Yep.
Oakland.
That game could get ugly.
Mm-hmm. And go to Cleveland, Cincy.
What's the line here?
I'm debating it. Based on this score, I thought it'd be closer. I'll put it -3. I had 5, but I'll say Cincy.
Dalton found a way to fumble right there.
Because basically, when you do home and away, you give the home team 3 off the bat. Yeah. And I think since he's at least two or so points better.
Yeah.
So I was doing 5, but this performance, and it's a rivalry, I'll keep it at 3. I'll put it back. I'll take it back to 3, -3. And I'll now change mine to Cincy on that line.
And it's
at Cincy. So, because Cincy gets the 3, and then I was going to give Cincy a couple more points, assuming they, And so 5's probably what it's going to be at. So we'll keep it at 5.
We keep it at 5. I'm going to have a hard time, but I'm going to go ahead and look the other way and assume that Cleveland being horrible on offense is going to become a bigger problem as the season goes on. And they were, trust me.
Yeah.
They still don't have any receivers.
And Philadelphia's defense isn't garbage. So.
Yeah, but the throws got made a couple of times and the catch didn't get made, or vice versa. Wheaton didn't look good.
Right. Well, he didn't have a chance. So he didn't make it out of the American flag, apparently. He got stuck in that in pregame. So his day was already.
It's not your
his day was over before he got on the field.
Like we knew it was San Francisco's day when Akers' 63-yarder hit the crossbar.
And went over. And then Vernon Davis went to dunk it and got denied. Best 2 goalpost moments in NFL history. In the same game, no less.
Well, if you don't count guys running smack into it. Yeah.
No, we don't. That's injuries. Yeah, I've got Cleveland. If it's 5, I certainly have Cleveland. If it's 3, I think since he wins by 3. It's just these games are never blowouts. They're always close.
Yeah, I got Cincy by a touchdown in this case. Bouncing back, after facing a
34-13
really good team.
I think they'll cut out all the cuteness because that's what this division is about. Cutting out the cuteness, show up, play some run defense.
Mm-hmm. So at -5, you have.
I think Cincy is going to show up and run it, and then the occasional throw. I'm not.
I like the Quella Fajita against the run though.
And Hayden out for 4 games.
That's fine, and I thought he was out yesterday.
But that's enough for me to.
AJ Green should eat their ass anyway.
But it's going to be a complete murder now.
Right.
So AJ Green has a crazy stat line.
Big chunk of ass.
I thought Ray Rice was about to throw a pass. I was going to talk big shit right there. Bengals. They're winning by a touchdown.
Okay. Y'all agree? I've got Cleveland. These games are always weird in this division.
They are.
And finally, Tennessee at San Diego. San Diego, I'm guessing will be because these teams are even to me as far as we know at this point. I've got San Diego that 3-point home favorite. And I'll take Tennessee because I haven't won a division, so these are the games I need to win. That's simply why.
And I'll take. I'm actually betting on North Turner. Yes, I am.
At home, it's still September.
Yeah, San Diego. Yeah, it's early season.
So right.
I'm going San Diego because
he likes Antonio Gates. All right.
No. I'm gonna take it a step further because This whole Chris Johnson not doing shit yesterday thing is something that
It's
we
normal?
talk about.
It's worrisome.
It's worrisome.
Well,
because
no.
It's hard to run on New England.
Ringer was inactive. Ringer will be healthy this week, and now have a real running back, and they can run the football.
Do they
Enough
know
said.
How those first round Chris Johnson picks feel now, folks?
I listen to the podcast. Then you won't fucking pick him, assholes.
I was glad he was gone.
Take a
By the
quarterback.
time I picked both my leagues.
Yeah, I took Stafford over him. Not that he leagues with negative points doesn't matter. Ray Rice's second touchdown. We told you to draft him too.
I didn't have a chance.
But your explanation
I
on
told people
I
to take
think
him first. Look, if they can't run the ball and now they're about to have issues with health on at quarterback, Locker's gonna try to play with.
No, he's fine.
Separated.
So what? It's not like Matt Hasselbeck's
He's good. Then now they got to go with
curb
when,
street,
Yeah,
or
but
even
now- but now we got
curb
new-
on the street.
We got new receivers in now because Nate will probably be semi-hurt.
He had a
now.
little bruise, you know.
And then now you got to get Kenny Britt back.
He's
out
back.
there, and how healthy?
He's not ready.
active this week?
He is, but he's not ready.
But
He's been on the sideline
Yeah,
all
take a few weeks,
preseason. Yeah,
He'll be out there trying to play.
but he's been
That's a lot.
cutting. He's been practicing.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. I'll take the Chargers, and maybe this is the good month for them in September. And people are playing for their jobs, but we might be laughing at that pick by midnight tonight.
Right? No, yeah. Well, I'll be
Yeah.
dream laughing.
Like, wow, that Chargers. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, you know, Ryan Matthews he'll be added back to the scene next week too.
Please.
So he's ready.
Cool.
So that concludes what'll be our weekly Whim Hit segment. It'll be our picks of all the games against the spread, and so we move on to Stump Stefan, which will be NFL trivia questions.
Yes, it will.
And we'll roll into it. I don't think we talked about this at our bar the other night. Shameless plug, Kevin. You're welcome. Our bar on Memorial next to
Los Cucos.
Los Cucos
And Whole Fit
and
Foods.
Shepherd, a little bit off Shepherd.
Yeah, we don't need the address, I guess.
Yeah, we need to get that.
The letter.
Letter R, not our possessive
Great
R.
wait staff, great owner staff.
That's right.
Wonderful place. Best trivia in the city.
Damn straight.
On Thursday. I don't know why I haven't done this before. I'm sorry, Kevin, but it's just obvious, and I'm not even joke. It's not a shameless plug. It's a plug that I believe in.
Yeah. Best trivia. Don't go because there are already enough people.
Right? No, that's not true.
No, go to the bar.
We need more. We need more. We need more trivia people. Last week it was us and two drunk bitches that gave us that money.
that we beat by 25 points.
Right. And it was like out of 36.
It's good to know y'all aren't right.
So
Hey.
we haven't won overall in a while.
No, yeah.
But okay, I don't think, like I said, I don't think we talked about this. The Giants were the first Super Bowl champion to lose their opener since who and when? Their opening game.
Oh, shit. Let's see. This is 2012,
That is correct.
and there were 12 winners in a row before them. So that means 2000 through 2001 won. So 99 lost. So who the hell won the Super Bowl after the 98
How do you know there were
season?
12 before them?
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah,
12
it's
in
a
a row before. Oh, so am I like completely in the wrong decade here? But let's
No,
see.
no.
After the 98 season, let's see. Who was good back then? Let's see. It's, too early for the Patriots, too late for the 49ers. Let's see here. Thinking it would have been like Super Bowl like 30-ish. 98 season. Was it Denver?
You got it. It was Denver.
Awesome.
I forgot who they lost to.
Yeah.
And then 1999. That's
Okay.
correct. The Saints, begrudgingly asked this question. And I mentioned it earlier, which is why Jim Hazard was my top 5. It was my top performer of the week. Big performance of the week. 5 3-and-outs yesterday against the Redskins. 4 came in like the first 3 quarters, which I guess, yeah, elevated. How many did we have all of last season?
How many 3-and-outs?
5 in one game.
I would say that you had.
And obviously, I'll give you a plus or minus 2 on this because it's
I'll say 17.
23.
Yeah,
But that's
okay.
still ridiculous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's 1 point whatever a game. Mm-hmm. And this is one Scott wanted me to ask. So only Don't pretend like you didn't know it already too quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Only one.
Oh, is this thing on?
Only one SEC team has. Because Scott, I'm sorry, he did watch the Missouri. Oh, he did watch the Florida A&M game because he went to UT grad school. Only one SEC team has its last. Well, actually, maybe we ask Art this one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Only one SEC team has its last 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Who is it? One SEC school. Their last 3 starters are in the NFL.
Their last 3 starting quarterbacks, right?
That's what I said.
Oh,
starters.
Okay.
Is that
Oh, okay.
starters at left tackle?
I don't.
Well, maybe I didn't say quarterback.
Yeah, I did see this during the game, but I did know it when they asked it, so I'll claim correctness.
But you were on the right. Based on who you were watching, you were running right.
Well, yeah,
It wasn't as much out of the box.
The fact that they asked
right.
it during the A&M game.
Right, which is a hint.
Yeah. That wasn't my first guess. But
It's not A&M, no.
Yeah, I know, but
It's a misleading hint.
Yeah.
yeah. So it is. No. Who's the third? Who's the third guy?
We'll name the first 2. What do you?
Because Florida has 2. I'm trying to remember
It's not Florida.
Still in the league. Does that disqualify LSU? Or I can't think of Georgia quarterback.
Doesn't count guys who never made the league. Yeah.
Think more along the line of Texas A&M.
The misleading hint.
Yeah, it's gonna be dead air. I'm not the right guy.
It's Missouri. Chase Daniel, Blaine Gabbert, and Brad Smith.
That was the tricky one.
Right. That was the first one. I was like, oh shit, because obviously.
Well, he doesn't play.
The tricky thing was I wasn't thinking Missouri was in the SEC. And it seemed like there were a lot of interceptions thrown in the NFL this week.
Philadelphia and Cleveland.
And there were 8 alone. So what's the record for the most interceptions? I won't ask you the player of the year or anything. What's the record for most interceptions in a game by one?
By one quarterback?
Yeah.
8?
It is 8.
Was he on Philadelphia?
It was against Philadelphia.
Against Philadelphia, that's right. Oh, shit. I've read this before.
Yeah, obviously.
What was his name?
You bastard.
Man. I remember because it struck me because he had 5 completions.
No, it was bad.
And 8
they lost like 41 to... Right. He completed more to the other team.
Yeah. God, was it like... it's like a short name, like...
3 syllables total.
Gosh.
Jim... Hardy
yeah.
for the Chicago Cardinals. It was 1950. So
what was he thinking after number 7? Hey,
why am I still in the game? I don't know.
My luck's got to change.
Is there a backup available? Anything? No.
Thank God they
Bueller.
Thank God this isn't on television.
Right. Good Lord. It probably wasn't
radio.
Some capacity. And now on the state of the art, which will be our fantasy segment. We got a couple fantasy questions, and I had a couple of my own. I got this one over the weekend, and I wanted to see what your opinion would be.
All right.
And you know, I didn't completely dismiss it, but my reasoning was for certain things. But somebody asked me if they should start Arian Foster or granted this is 10 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Or Darren Sproles in the PPR. And he was still questionable.
He was still questionable at the time.
Foster was?
Right.
Yeah.
At 10 a.m.
My thoughts.
And I was awake. That's correct.
Oh.
You know, Sproles is just a hard person to trust because his carries are so inconsistent.
He had 0 carries.
And considering, and he averaged like 8 last year. 8 carries a game for a running back is a scary situation to be showing up with, saying this is my number 1 running back.
Right.
Like Percy Harvin gets carried. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking about Percy.
That's a sack.
But
the most underrated defensive tackle ever, other than Kyle Williams.
In that case, I probably would have still said Foster because I didn't think they would have benched him. I thought he would have gotten about 15 carries at the worst case scenario.
Okay, well, why did he draft Arian Foster first overall?
because he didn't hear
To play him. What the fuck?
Yeah,
This is
what
not
to
even.
play
This
him?
is not even a question.
Well, maybe
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe he had.
If he's playing, you play him. Really? You
Yeah.
just start playing games in week 1?
And getting cute, yeah.
Right.
Cute. If,
90 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't think he had a catch for -4 because
Yeah,
it's
but if
dumpster
he was
fire.
questionable, I mean, if there was any question of
Right.
him playing,
I said if he plays, you play him. If he doesn't,
Right.
then
Yeah.
hopefully you have better options than Sproles.
the questionable
Yeah.
is the 50-50 play.
yeah,
supposedly.
I agree with
You
that.
picked him first overall for a reason.
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
gonna
but
play.
that's because you haven't heard my volumes of conversation about how
Well, I wouldn't have picked him.
Rice-
I wouldn't have picked him 10th overall. But
Ray Rice is so fucking awesome. Anyway,
no, I mean I wouldn't have touched Arian Foster with
don't touch him with no.
a
Don't touch
Mississippi
him
River pool.
with- Oh, okay, good job.
But
That's better
okay,
than
so the second question. This is from me. Obviously, you pick up C.J. Spiller with Fred Jackson being hurt,
if he somehow didn't get drafted, for
right? And he probably didn't. And
Which is-
the leagues I saw, he didn't.
Which
But
is insane.
does David Nelson's injury add value to anyone else in that offense?
Man, that offense's value is at a low point for me. I'm having a hard time with them because they look really, really bad. Yeah, the Jets defense is good. No. Everybody else is in a spread around situation.
That is correct.
Steve Johnson's situation is more of a case of he's gonna have manageable games against almost everybody, and if he plays somebody bad, he will have a good game.
Right. No, I think you're right. David Nelson wasn't even a fantasy
No.
value. I mean, he was last year when Stevie missed some games.
And he had a couple of good
But then he got hurt. His value is in hot wife or girlfriend. I think he dates a Miami
Oh, even
Dolphins
better.
cheerleader.
she's a
Cowboy cheerleader, right. Cowboys is right. Cowboys is correct. You are correct again.
Yeah.
Look
4th
out
and
in
15
the-
get another sack.
The third question. Ogletree will obviously get picked up this week, right?
True.
He's the hot pickup. But what other week 1 standouts? And while you look, I have a couple. Alfred Morris, obviously.
Yeah.
96 yards, 2 touchdowns, 28 carries, so it was below average on the on some of the on his yards per average.
Yeah.
But it was when they were up. We knew they were running, and so that's a little bit of an anomaly. And then Stephen Hill, 5 for 89 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Stephen Hill?
To Georgia, he's Calvin Johnson's clone from Georgia Tech.
That guy.
So those are the two that stood out to me.
Dexter McCluster.
He led them in receiving, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a full-time wideout now?
I think in a lot of leagues
They
he's
kept
listed
trying to do it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of leagues they got him listed as a slash, which is even sweeter. So having him listed as a slash means you can pick him up and start him anywhere, which is something that you want to involve yourself in as much as you possibly can. Because it's just options. Bye weeks, injuries, things happen.
So Lance Moore's 120.
No.
You want to get in that? You want to get in that mix?
Do you want me to talk about that?
Devery's concussed. I think they didn't. I didn't say that, but I was there.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't do it. I love him, but
Lance Moore is one of those guys that
hopefully
you hate to see him looking on that. You hate to see him on that free agent list. But then when you look at him on your team, you hate to see him there because you can't bench him, you can't start him, you can't trade him, you can't do anything with him. You can just.
You hope it's the one out of the 10 out of the 16 weeks when.
Yeah, you just start him that week and eat that 0 inexplicably when he shows up and he's a healthy scratch, or he shows up and he's out there on 3 snaps and you're like, what the hell just happened? And why do I have 0 points with him? Like, you can't deal with it.
Right.
So I stopped doing the Lance Moore thing a while back. But yeah, my main guy is my cluster right now because my leagues are so competitive in terms of who gets picked up and who doesn't. Alfred Morris is another one of those guys. I think everybody needs to watch this Garcon situation because everybody's saying he's fine, but I don't trust Shanahan as far as I can throw him.
That was one quarter.
Randy Moss is still kind of hanging out there.
But he only played on a third of the downs
And I
for San
think
Francisco.
The thing is, they're putting him out there to use him, though.
No, they are.
So I think there's worse things you
And
could
he's
do
blocking.
for yourself. There's worse things you could do for yourself. Kobe Fleener, if he's still out there, go ahead and do that.
What was
for
his
yourself.
stat line for?
His stat line.
Did he score the touchdowns? Somebody had to. Donald Brown had 1.
Donald Brown scored the touchdown. His stat line was he had 82 yards on 6 receptions.
Not bad.
And the other tight end was.
That I don't know.
Because I know Reggie had the 135.
Uh-huh.
So that had to be a lot of because what Luck got up to 300. So,
Right, exactly. So are there any players you're giving up on after 1 week?
Greg Little. Greg Little is my passion
Why did
project.
you?
Greg Little is my passion project.
You bought Greg Little? Or?
Yes, I bought on it because last year the man had 59 catches for that team, and I thought Brandon
And
Weaver.
58 drops.
Yeah, but targets are important.
No, they are.
And
And those are his drops. That's what I'm saying. He was targeted like it.
He gets targeted a lot.
He does.
And I felt like Whedon was going to be a little bit better, but his targets went down because he basically couldn't get open on a number one corner,
Right.
and that's a problem because
What
now
did
they got other options.
What did Trenton do? I heard one. He pulled off one run. I thought.
That's about it, but it was later on in the game. They just look bad on offense. Trent Richardson isn't a buy low. He isn't anything. It's a stay away from it as long as you can.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
He's
I didn't
not
touch
healthy. You can't be dealing with that.
it. Right.
You can't be dealing with
Atkins,
that at all.
my MVP for that defense. Anyway,
Yeah, so no, not like that. I don't give up on Pierre Thomas yet. It's something else.
right. No, but we only threw the screen once, and it was for 11 yards.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to the tape and see. Holy shit, this is a successful play, and they'll probably more. I agree. Score was nice. I don't know that they'll match numbers this year.
Yeah, Kendall Hunter might be out there, and that's something
That's true.
he may be on that list.
Well,
of people that
and you have to
don't want.
with Jacobs is back though, his carries reduced. Michael James is going to play more. That's a toy Harbaugh is dying to use because he doesn't have any other back like that.
All right.
He doesn't have a little third down scat guy that he can use. And Alex Smith, come on, he's limited at the position.
Yeah.
So that's something that will completely be of value to him.
Yeah, Crabtree is probably hanging out there too.
And he had 8 catches?
Yeah.
In the first half, I think. He had a nice.
He ended up 7 catches,
Yeah.
76 yards.
Yeah, and 6 were like in the first half.
And he's one of those guys that's depending on your league.
Bye
you know,
week,
I
check
think
your matchup. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's gonna eat a few receptions, and
It's
like,
like-
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, so I believe that offense is gonna be okay this year. And
Yeah, and finally, a little bit for both of y'all. Ridley, Stephen Ridley. He had 21 of the 35 carries, but for 125 and 2 TDs. Is he a viable starter in fantasy now?
yeah. If Shane Vereen isn't gonna be
Did
healthy-
Vereen, so is he unhealthy? Is
Yeah,
that what the deal
Vereen's
is?
hurt, right?
Okay.
Vereen is
So-
hurt. So he was out. He was out yesterday.
Yeah. So you never know. When Vereen gets healthy, if he gets healthy, they could come back and start doing 12 carries each.
Right.
I mean, Belichick will do that.
Right.
But he will also ride a running back who is hot. You know, I think he did that with Green Ellis a lot.
Yeah. When you got the goal line,
Yeah.
I think he believes in. It seems like he believes in.
And really,
And
and
really
the
more.
thing about really his yards were not just I had one 72-yard run. It was a lot of I'm breaking 3 tackles.
No, it was
getting
over
8
5 yards a carry.
Yeah, it was I'm
6.
breaking 3
Yeah.
tackles. Like the stuff he did at LSU. Like I'm going.
Yeah, what
to
did
break
I tell you?
3 tackles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about that 41-3 beatdown? Washington. And we gave him 3 to start the game. It's like, here's your
you
3. Now we're gonna.
Yes.
Sorry.
Stephen
It's
really,
my high. That's all. I can't brag on the Saints right now. I might as well
No,
brag
you
on
really, you
LSU.
really can't. But Stephen really, when you break tackles in the pros, you get people's attention, and he was doing that. I mean, he was the anti-Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson juked 3 times, and then every time he juked, a new person showed up, and he was like, "Shit."
I hope my hotel this week has the. They won't, but the NFL Network, so I can watch all these games.
Yeah, I'd start Ridley, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should. New England
Yeah,
starting
I
them.
think, he's kind of like a second running back situation.
Yeah,
right now.
he seems like a solid RB2.
Right.
We'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, especially if he gets more than 50% of the carries in New England, no less.
And when all the defenses are looking for the pass.
Right. No, and he took advantage of that. And he's got such a nose for the end zone. He did it. At least he did it at LSU. And the Sheik, but I wasn't sure I was going to do the Twitter segment unless you have any more fantasy.
Watch yourself on the starting Michael Turner thing because we saw that game.
Tell me about it.
And look, and you know, usually some people will do the 1 week thing and then they overreact, but that's usually a receiver and a quarterback.
Right.
But with running backs, people believe
You get a good idea.
But people believe last year and 5 years ago, this dude used to be awesome. So I'm gonna keep on starting this dude. And I think I said this on the podcast, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Names do not count for shit in fantasy football. Numbers count. Stats count. It sounds so good to say Michael Turner's in my flex, y'all. Look at that, Michael Turner. Boy, I got Michael Turner and then insert a high round. And man, I'm going to start him because he's going to be in my flex and it's going to be awesome and he's going to get all these touchdowns. He might not. You can't get touchdowns if you don't get touches. And he's not getting touches right now. They were up big and they did not use that guy. I was cracking jokes saying he wasn't even at the stadium no more. Watch yourself on the starting Michael Turner thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, 11 carries in a game where they were winning most of the way.
Right. You get garbage carries.
You have ball control and all that. Unless their offensive scheme now is just fuck it, let's just throw. It
kind of is. They underutilize their decent, above average.
But even if that is the case, then running's going to be less of.
And that's when they're going to be in trouble when they have to do ball control. They're not going to be able to because Robert Jacquees is not going to be able to scat through.
Yeah.
11 for 32 yards, 2.9 by the way.
No, I'm surprised. I mean,
was he even on the field that
just
much?
11. That's insane.
He only had 4 more carries than Jacuzzi Rodgers.
Right. No, I think that Mark Knopfler, whatever the new offensive coordinator is, he wants to use Jacuzzi more. I don't know, but I struggle with the. I thought that was. Oh, that's right. With doing the tweets, but the Sheik was big time NFL. He had some funny takes. So we're rolling through these to finish the number 18. I'll just go right into it. The real or the dog shit? The Peyton ready or no? NFL, I'd be happy today. Drink the cold beer.
I guess that was before the game.
Right. Yeah. I did a lot of that too. Yesterday with the NFL, we were all happy. And this is funny because I think these two teams play next week. Who going to win, the Bills or Chiefs today? Maybe he was looking at week 2 schedule. I don't know. Both look like this. Both look like this if they F up. The NFL, the real this year. And we're doing this podcast, so we agree. The NFL is the real. This is my favorite. This is my second favorite one. I'll tell you my first. Cam Newton is real intelligent Jew. And we did the black and Jewish already on one of our prior podcasts. So, awesome. The thing goes back to the Jets. The Tim Tebow have to pray to the Jesus. If he play in the greatest city in the world, New York, he F up. They send him to dog shit hell.
That is true.
Yes.
They will.
They will, immediately. And then we all agree, Tom. I don't know, maybe. I think his prior woman is hotter, but Tom Brady wife, old country way, forever. Not just briefly, forever. And this is, I definitely agree. And this will be a season theme. Miami Dolphins get F today, old country way. And then Buffalo Bills shit their pants. Well, in a separate note, the same division. And then Andrew Luck, fuck himself or no? Question mark. I think he effed himself a little bit in game 1. 3 picks.
He wasn't that bad.
He's respectable. I said when my pick would be.
I thought he only had 2
the
picks.
Bears will.
He had 3.
Yeah. The Bears will cover, but Luck will be impressive.
Yeah.
And then the RG3, the real today. He impressed me big time. No jabroni. He's no jabroni.
Clearly not.
Yes, it pains me to read that. This is my favorite tweet of the weekend. Serena, the real black man. The real black man. But then he says she. The real black man, she, not like Altamoria mother. At least Altamoria grandmother's getting a little less heat from the Sheik. Defer to you for some. Has he tweeted any Monday night stuff?
He hasn't. He's talking about Raw. So
I forgot that was.
Yeah, so he's not watching the games.
That makes sense.
But I could give you a little quote. This isn't a tweet, but a direct quote from Mac Brown's press conference today.
God.
Talking college football.
Do you want to be dumber?
Listen and find out.
He said, she was the best.
He said in their game against New Mexico, we created 2 turnovers that only led to 7 points. We need to get 10 to 14 points out of every turnover that we get.
The genius is just oozing. The genius is oozing from this man.
Was it genius? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So
it's oozing from this man.
Yeah.
Hurt you bad. It's your coach, not mine. And I'm sure Les Miles has had better sound bites, but
hey, I'd work for him. But yeah,
with less genius. So, and based on the regarding the fantasy segment, we we would like you to send questions. Anyone, but I know a lot of y'all are messaging me and texting me. But if you put them on the page, it gives us a little more relevance as far as the site, and I'll answer them regardless. But it bodes better for us if you put them on the page. We can use them in the podcast. And I'm not asking you to look a week ahead because we do this on Monday. I'll fabricate the questions as far as
You should start charging if people ask you directly, and don't do it on the page.
right.
There you go.
So, but I think that concludes it. It's the first number 18, but
We're legal.
first full football season, week 1 installment in the books. We hope you enjoyed it, and like I said, send the questions, send the anything like
Hate mail.
just right. I mean, at least we know you're listening.
Right.
Give us something like you're out there, you're listening, whatever. And if you're not, well, then you won't hear this.
Then go fuck yourself.
That's right.
As the sheep
As
would
the
say.
sheep would say. Tell me you're listening or go fuck yourself. I don't know. So, but those that are, we really do appreciate it, and give us some feedback, anything. One in the books. Week 1 of the NFL was in the books.
That's right.
Not as I completely anticipated it, but
It's the rush to judgment week.
not too many surprises, but enough surprises.
It was enough. Oh man.
And the Ravens are up 30. So it's Foley slitting wrists, or glad I didn't go to T-Bones for this.
Yeah, I hope he stopped drinking by now.
He probably didn't. I'm
He
glad.
started at 6.
Yeah, he was talking about getting hardy for this.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. Since I said they were hanging in there, they've been garbage.
Well, now they're gonna hang that on you. We gotta cut that now.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well.
Editing's not really one of our core competencies.
Hey,
True. Hey, don't
I
do
could have
that.
done. I'd left that one thing in.
Well, you do like chop and
Some
chop.
of it's funny, but we.
that one thing. How was your date?
Well,
And that's when it cut off.
at least you didn't say nothing crazy.
At least I asked. That's when it cut off.